So it's been a lot of fun covering the Ontario Hockey League's team history videos, learning a little bit from each organization that currently plays in the Ontario Hockey League. And after randomly going through all 19 teams up until this point, we're now ready for the 20th and final team. It's the Owen Sound Attack. The Attack, they arrived in the city of Owen Sound in 1989 as the Owen Sound Platers and then changed their name to the Attack in 2000. So how did they get here? Well, their history dates back to the Guelph Platers from 1975 until 1989. Before that, they were the Guelph Biltmore Mad Hatters from 1972 until 75, and then started off as the Guelph CMCs. That was from 1968 until 1972. So the Holiday family, they decided to move the team up Highway 6 to Owen Sound, and they wanted to keep the Platers' name since they owned an electroplating company. I was kind of curious about the Platers name because it's very unique. It's something you don't hear of often. So I had no idea what a plater was until I did some research for this video. And basically, electroplating is the process of producing a metal coating using an electric current. So that's why you've got like the lightning bolt in the team logo. So I was curious. That's what I looked up, and it is kind of fun when you find out the backgrounds on some of these stories on team names. And the Owen Sound Platers has to do with the Holiday family and their business in electroplating. So this team, it was put up for sale in 2000, and rumors at the time is that the team would relocate to Cornwall. And we did the video on the Sarnia Sting talking about how the team moved from Cornwall to Newmarket, ended up in Sarnia. And since that move, there's been a lot of speculation and interest about bringing a team back to the city of Cornwall, and that almost happened in 2000. However, a group of business owners in Owen Sound decided to come together to make sure the team would stay in that market, which is the smallest in the Canadian Hockey League. And they decided they wanted a more modern name, so they decided to go with the Owen Sound Attack. And I think it's a very fitting name for the city. And I love going to the Bayshore Community Center. It's one of the more cozier arenas in the OHL circuit. And boy, oh boy, does the community ever come out to support their junior hockey team. Looking back at the history, this includes both Attack and Platers for overall franchise scoring. And leading the way is Bobby Ryan, 133 goals, 192 assists, 325 points during his time in Owen Sound. Before that, Andrew Brunette recorded 128 goals, 167 assists, 295 points during his time in Owen Sound. Third in franchise scoring, Nick Suzuki, 129 goals, 150 assists, 279 points. And of course, Nick Suzuki, now the captain of the Montreal Canadiens. Fourth in franchise scoring is Jim Brown, 115 goals, 146 assists, 261 points. In fifth is Joey Hishin, 110 goals, 145 assists, 255 points. Wayne Primo, he comes in sixth overall, 84 goals, 168 assists, 252 points. Denny Gore, he's seventh in franchise scoring. He's a name that you're probably familiar with after last season. For Denny Gore, 102 goals, 149 assists, 251 points. In eighth is Wes Goldie, 131 goals, 117 assists, 248 points. In ninth, Kevin Hancock, 99 goals, 147 assists, 246 points during his time in Owen Sound. And rounding out the top 10 is Jason McDonald, 118 goals, 123 assists, 241 points. Now shifting our focus to the goaltenders, Jordan Binnington leads the way in wins in franchise history. He ended up with 86 wins during his time with the Owen Sound Attack. In second in franchise wins is Michael McNiven with 77 wins. Curtis Sanford, he is third overall with 65 wins. Matt Guzda, fourth in franchise wins with 63. And then in fifth is Jamie Storr with 57. Now, there's only one retired number when it comes to the Owen Sound hockey history, and that's number 14 of Dan Snyder. Now, Snyder, he served as captain for the Platers and passed away in 2003 following a vehicular accident in Atlanta while traveling with teammate Danny Heatley. So this made a lot of headlines back in 2003. And the OHL, they've also named the Humanitarian of the Year trophy after Dan Snyder, as he was voted Humanitarian of the Year twice by his team in Owen Sound. So some nice recognition there for Dan Snyder. I know in Elmira, his hometown, they renamed their arena after him. So it's a nice tribute to see his name on an arena in Elmira, and then in Owen Sound having his number retired and his number in the rafters, the Bayshore. 54 players have actually gone on to play in the National Hockey League after suiting up for the Owen Sound Platers or the Attack. So a good representation there as well. Now, looking back to their playoff history, we're going to go back to 2000. In 2000, they missed the playoffs, and that happened to be the last year of the Owen Sound Platers. So the ownership change happened that summer, and then in 2001, their first year as the Owen Sound Attack, knocked out in the first round. And that was by the Windsor Spitfires in 5 games. 2002 would be a year they would miss the playoffs again, so just one playoff appearance in 3 years. 2003, first round appearance, and were knocked out in the first round there by the Plymouth Whalers. That was in 4 games. 2004, another first round exit, this time in 7 games to the Guelph Storm. 2005, knocked out in the second round this time by the Kitchener Rangers. That was in 4 games. 2006, a second round exit, this time at the hands of the London Knights. That was in 6 games. 2007, they would only get to the first round of the playoffs and were swept by the London Knights. They would miss the playoffs in 2008. 2009, a first round exit to the Windsor Spitfires in 4 games. In 2010, they would miss the playoffs. And then in 2011, it was a very memorable run for the Owen Sound Attack. And I was covering the Kitchener Rangers that year. And for Kitchener Owen Sound, they play each other 6 times. And every time we went to the Bayshore, the fans kept asking, do you think this is the year? Do you think our team has the pieces to go on a championship run? Well, that's exactly what they did. They would go to the OHL final and defeat the Mississauga St. Michael's Majors in 7 games. And it was like playing 2 home games for the Owen Sound Attack. The Bayshore was packed and the Hershey Center full of Owen Sound Attack fans. And when they drove back to Owen Sound, the highway was lined up with Attack fans as they welcomed the players back to the Bayshore. It was quite the sight, and I wish I could have been there just to witness it. They would go on to the Memorial Cup, however, they ended up 4th. And if you're an Owen Sound Attack fan, you do remember the injury to Joey Hishin, as that one really stung this team and really threw things off for the organization. But Jordan Binnington was sensational that whole year, and of course would go on to win a Stanley Cup with the St. Louis Blues. So after the championship run in 2012, it would be a first-round exit for the Owen Sound Attack, knocked out by the Kitchener Rangers in 5 games. 2013, get to the second round and were defeated by the Plymouth Whalers in 6. 2014, a first-round exit, this time to the Sioux Greyhounds in 5 games. It was another first-round exit in 2015, this time to the Guelph Storm in 5. 2016, another first-round defeat, this time to the London Knights in 6 games. Then in 2017, they went on a run. They ended up in the Western Conference Final, but were knocked out in 6 games by the Erie Otters. So close to getting back to the OHL Final for the Owen Sound Attack. 2018, knocked out in the second round by the Sioux Greyhounds. That was in 7 games. Sault Ste. Marie and Owen Sound in the 2010s, they had a few series where they would meet in the playoffs, and it got quite intense. And that one, just one of those examples. 2019, a first-round exit again to the Sioux Greyhounds, this time in 5 games. Of course, no playoffs in 2020 or 2021. And in 2022, they were knocked out in the first round by the Flint Firebirds in 7 games. And coming out of that season, we thought, this is an Owen Sound Attack that's up and coming. They're going to challenge for the Midwest Division. Maybe there's a championship in their future. Well, 2023, a bit of a letdown, knocked out in the first round by the London Knights in 4 games. And 2024, ending a little disappointing again, a first-round exit to the Saginaw Spirit in 4 games. So just 1 championship so far for this organization in 2011, but there have been a few letdowns recently for Owen Sound, and I know they've gone through some coaching changes. Of course, Greg Walters let go during the 23-24 season due to off-ice issues, and they do have a new head coach on the way, new coaching staff. So this is a team I think that's looking to rebuild going into next season. But man, it'd be exciting if the Owen Sound Attack could have another run to the OHL final, because the community supports this team in droves. It's one of the smallest arenas in the OHL, but they make it feel big, as this community, they love the Owen Sound Attack. And if you haven't been to the Bayshore, I highly recommend it. So that wraps up the current team history videos. We've now done all 20 teams. You can find all the teams we've done on the playlist here on the channel. as we cover all the teams, talk about their histories. And going forward over the next few days, we're going to talk about OHL expansion. Is it on the horizon? What cities could house a OHL team in the future? And I also want to look back to the 1998 expansion, as that's the last time the league grew and reached 20 teams. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you're notified about when those videos come about. And yeah, thank you very much for all your support as this channel continues to grow. Talk to you again soon.